Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So I just got through watching Pete in North Las Vegas, his latest video, and he's detailing all the steps he took to resolve the zeroing issue on his Colt Sporter Match H bar. Now, mine is almost identical to his, other than it has a lower serial number, which you need not concern yourself with the actual serial number, but it is lower than his. It does not have the sear block, but it's otherwise like identical to his, except more scratched up. Okay. And I learned so much watching Pete's videos because he's like a technical resource. And the zeroing thing, I didn't know or do any of that. When I bought this gun, I just went out and started shooting. Okay, I do all my shooting up at the Fresno Rifle and Pistol Club. I set up all my targets at 100-yard steel plates that I procure here and there, pots and pans and kettles that I buy at yard sales and estate sales, and just various objects to shoot at. And I have mine zeroed at 100 yards, which I know is wrong, but the reason for that is I like to take new shooters out and introduce them to the shooting sports, and I want them to have fun, to have success, score hits, and I want them to just put the sights on target and score hits without explaining bullet drop and all that kind of stuff. Okay, now I'm going to set this up, and we're going to look at the front sight. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got the gun set up in this Wheeler vice block thing, and you can see I don't have the sear block thing here. The hammer has that notch cut in it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so the front sight, I was curious if mine is buried the way Pete has his. And so there it is. Now remember though, mine is set up at 100-yard zero with the rear sight base all the way down. Okay, so for whatever that's worth. Now to really know if it's making a difference or if mine would need to be buried as much as his, I'm going to have to make a trip up there. And I'm overdue for one. I haven't been up there in a while. I mean, when I was young, I used to go all the time. But these days, not so much. So there it is. I don't know if you can tell how low it is or not. Not very low. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can find my my dial calipers. Hold on. Okay, let's try this. So I believe, and there's a shoulder right there. So I'm up against the sight base. And on that shoulder, so there's the 1, 9, 4, 3. So I forget what he measured his at, and I can't really, let me see if I can measure. Well, we can just eyeball it and see it's not as low as the one on Pete's gun. But again, my zeroing is different. I won't be able to make it up to the range today, maybe on Tuesday, and I'll do the 25-yard, or is it 25 meter? I'll do that zero with the rear sight, one click up. Everything I've done with this gun, the rear sight has been fully seated. and it's solid. It doesn't move at all. When I go up there on Tuesday, I'll do that one click and then get a bullseye hit at 25 yards, and we'll see what happens with the front sight. Oh wait, one more thing. Let's look at the bolt carrier. Hold on. Okay, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because Pete did not cover it. Surprisingly, he did not cover this. So here's my stock Colt hammer, and this is the large pin like Pete was talking about. So anyway, so there's a cut right there. See this cut on the hammer? That's there for a reason, and that reason is it matches up with the bolt carrier. Okay, now I got the same bolt carrier that Pete does, and I didn't realize that this part was milled off to clear the sear block. I thought it was just milled off so that shoulder wouldn't trigger or operate an auto sear. Okay, now there's an additional cut right here. So this part milled away because this low spot, it should go all the way and like almost cover up the, yeah, when it's in battery. Anyway, okay, the reason for this cut and for the notch on the hammer is that during the firing sequence, when the bolt is traveling forward and strips a round out of the magazine, if the hammer is not caught or hooked by the disconnect, if the disconnect does not engage the hammer, then spring pressure will be pushing the hammer up, and as this travels forward, that notch right there, the hammer will ride up into that notch, and then the notch on the hammer will grab the firing pin, and it will prevent the bolt from going into battery. So that's a secondary safety feature in the event of a disconnect failure. And so that's what that is. Okay, let me get this loaded up. And Pete, I appreciate your expertise. You're like a technical resource, man. But I want to get up and try try the, is that 25 yard or 25 meter zero, and see what happens with my front sight. Okay, this could be interesting. Okay, but that won't happen till Tuesday. So let me get this uploaded, and you folks have a good day.